What's up, guys? Wiser here with a review of the 2016 Royal Rumble Last Man Standing match between Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens. Now, in my reviews, I don't necessarily give you a play-by-play, but more so my feelings about the match and where I think they could be going leading into the future, or where both of these guys could be going moving forward. Now, I think I'm in the minority when I say this, because I take a look at Twitter and I see how Twitter's looking. I see how my mentions are, and I see just how much everybody was invested in this match, just how much everyone loved this match. And I have to say, I'm in the minority where I looked at this match and I was just like, whatever. Now, granted, it's a last man standing match, and you figure it's going to be a very gimmicky match, match that uses a lot of outside objects being put into the ring. As you can see in the picture here, you got a table, you got chairs. They even use the stairs a little bit. So you know that you're going to get a spot fest. Those aren't necessarily matches that I care for. Not saying that this match didn't tell a story or anything like that. It just wasn't grabbing me. And I think I know the reason why it wasn't grabbing me per se. Lately, I have let me not say completely, but I'm about 90% off of the Dean Ambrose bandwagon. I cannot, oh God, you guys are going to hate me for this, but just try to understand me here. I can't get behind Dean anymore as a face. Can't do it. To me, Dean comes off as a natural heel, and seeing him in this babyface role is like, it's very cliche. It just doesn't feel like it fits him. It doesn't feel like it doesn't come off as though it's natural to me. That Dean is playing the face role here, or that he's been playing the face role. Now, when he first came out in the face role, and he was doing a feud with Seth Rollins, at first for me it was catching on. He had antics and he was doing things outside of the match, just to play mind games with Seth and play mind games with his other opponents. There, I was like, okay, this might have legs. I don't know how long it could go on for, but it got people talking, which is a good thing. Now, I can't seem to look at Dean and figure out if anyone's talking about him. Sure, he's the Intercontinental champ, but I don't see what's special about him. Usually champions are supposed to be special. I don't feel anything special with Dean. Now, in the heel role, Dean was a lot better. Or in a group role. He could be a face in a group role. I'm fine with that. But as a heel, I think is where he comes off the best. Or if you don't want to boo the guy, he could be one of those heels that, the crowd just so happens to like. We call those guys tweeners. That does heelish things. I think that those roles are great for Dean because he's a guy that I would prefer. Now I'm talking about my preference, but I would prefer to see him work on top. Seeing him work underneath, to me, that wrestling style of his, it just doesn't work. It looks like such an amateur. He's just in there just throwing the most childish punches and just running around and just, oh God, it just seems like there's no art to what Dean is doing. Now I know that he's unconventional. He's supposed to be a loose cannon and things like that. That worked for guys like Brian Pillman. But Brian Pillman never wrestled as though he wasn't in control of what he was doing. He would still wrestle an actual wrestling match, whereas Dean is just in there doing amateur playground fighting. And that's probably why I couldn't get behind a match like this. You have Kevin Owens, who was in there, he's wrestling. Everything that he does means something. Everything that he does is impactful. Everything that he does, you can see and figure like, oh man, that's something that could put somebody away. And I'm all for that. Oh my God, Cam Newton is killing the Cardinals right now. But I feel that from Kevin Owens. Now, I didn't see Kevin Owens winning this. I didn't see him winning this match because I feel as though Kevin Owens needs to move up. And maybe this can be a match that Kevin Owens can have. He could go on ahead and do the honors to Dean and we no longer have to see him in the mid card. Maybe he starts moving up into the main event picture, which I will be glad with. And this right here could be closure for him. That's just wishful thinking for me. Do I think that they'll do something like that? I don't know. It all depends about what you think about positioning. And this is going pretty long. So long story short, that's why I didn't necessarily care for the match. It was just spotty. Owens working from the top throughout almost all of this match. Pretty dominant. Putting Dean through the tables and through the chairs. Well, no, not through the tables. That was Dean putting what's his boy name? Kevin Owens through the tables. They had two tables all stacked up on the outside. And Kevin Owens was going to the top, and Dean just pushed him off. Kevin Owens was going to the top to do something else. He got pushed off. Got the count out. I did like the way that they did sell the brutality of things like finishers, such as the dirty deeds. You got Ambrose getting out of the pop-up power bombs. But anytime that Owens had to sell the dirty deeds, he made it really believable as if he was out. You got the other time where he takes the dirty deeds on a table, count gets to 8, he rolls out of the ring and just so happens to get to his feet just before 10. Kevin Owens was the star of this match. From a logical standpoint, from a wrestling standpoint, from an everything standpoint, storytelling, everything, impact, everything. Kevin Owens was the star of this show. And for me, Dean was just there. That's how it came off to me. That's just my own personal opinion. Again, it's how I feel. You guys can kill me if you want to. But I hope I made myself clear. And yeah, I think Dean's going to hover in that mid card for life. And I hope that Kevin Owens is on his way up. And that's all I have for you. Probably going to have a jam-packed day today on the channel with this Royal Rumble coverage. So make sure to tune in for the rest of my wrestling reviews.